Election workers in Spokane County have officially started recounting ballots by hand as the state tries to determine who advances in the race for Washington Commissioner of Public Lands.
Now, Republican candidate Jamie Herrera Butler won the most votes statewide and will move on to the general election in November. But the race for second place between candidates Dave Updegrove and Sue Keel Peterson is neck and neck, with only 51 votes out of more than 1.9 million cast separating the two. Marissa Rio gives us a behind-the-scenes look at Spokane County's hand recount.
I think this points out just how important every single vote is.
The Secretary of State's office calls this the closest race in the history of Washington's primary. The previous closest was in 1960 for Superintendent of Public Instruction, and that was separated by 252 votes.
Some people say, well, the primary doesn't matter. Yes, the primary matters because it's going to determine who's on the ballot in the general election.
As of today, the hand recount in the race for Washington Commissioner of Public Lands is officially underway. But what does the process entail? Two election officials sit at each table and are given a pile of ballots. They then separate the ballots into piles in which the vote was cast. Both officials count each pile for themselves and tally the results on their own piece of paper. Neither election worker can see what the other's tally sheet looks like.
Then when they're done, they'll raise their hand, a supervisor will come over, and the supervisor compares the two tally sheets. If they match, then fine. If they don't match, then they have to count again.
Those results are then compared to the original machine-counted results.
And if there's a difference, we're going to go through that batch and see if we can identify why there's a difference.
And to make this process even more secure, there is an election observer at every table watching election officials every step of the way.
An election observer is a volunteer, and there are both Democratic and Republican observers.
I saw that they were very thorough, and that I was impressed that if their end numbers didn't match, they recounted again until they could see where the mistake was, and then they corrected that.
Spokane County expects to complete the recount by Thursday. Officials will send their final results to the Secretary of State's office, who will then certify the final count. In Spokane, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.